The account of Prophet Musa and Al-Khidr is often read as a mystical fable. However, mapping the specific Arabic terminology to our current understanding of higher dimensions reveals a precise, mechanical description of interdimensional travel. The narrative begins with Musa seeking a different kind of knowledge. To find it, God directs him to a precise destination called Majma al-Bahrain, a phrase classically translated as the junction of the two seas. The Arabic root bah denotes an immense domain or a profound depth. This definition aligns with the Quran's description of the cosmos as a fluid medium. The term yasbahun, used to describe celestial movement, forms a perfect linguistic palindrome. The letters mirror each other around a central axis, visually mimicking an orbit. It translates to swimming or floating, indicating that objects move through a structured, dynamic fabric rather than an empty void. If Bahrain refers to two immense, fluid-like cosmic domains, their junction represents the intersection of two separate regions of spacetime. In 1935, Albert Einstein and Nathan Rosen mathematically proposed that two distant points in the universe could be linked by a topological shortcut. Musa's journey led to a localized spacetime anomaly, a wormhole. A wormhole throat is invisible to the three-dimensional human eye. There is no glowing doorway in the middle of a geographical coastline. To locate such an invisible gravitational field, researchers must look for specific mechanical disturbances. Experimental physics uses a test particle to solve this problem. This is a small, controlled object introduced into a system to measure hidden forces by observing how the object behaves. God gave Musa a highly specific instruction: carry a dead, salted fish. He was told that the spot where he lost the fish would mark the junction. This salted fish functioned as a biological quantum test particle. When they arrived at the junction, the dead fish returned to a living state. In theoretical physics, an object can loop back to an earlier point in its timeline. By entering a high-gravity zone where time curves back on itself, a closed timeline curve, the fish physically returned to its state before death. After reviving, the fish creates a sarabin, a stable tunnel through the sea. The water remained open, refusing to collapse back in on itself. Maintaining a traversable wormhole requires a specific repulsive force to prevent the throat from collapsing. This force comes from exotic matter with a negative energy density, a physical environment where the standard decay of biological systems is suspended. This signature aligns with the properties historically attributed to the mythic water of life. The revival of the fish and the stable, open tunnel were the measurable thermodynamic signatures of a stable wormhole opening. Stepping through this anomaly, Musa crosses the threshold and meets Al-Khidr. This marks a collision between two vastly different dimensions. During their journey, Al-Khidr performs three actions that appear to violate standard morality. He damages a working ship, takes the life of a boy, and repairs a wall without payment. Musa is bound by a four-dimensional, linear framework of time. He is trained to judge justice strictly by immediate, observable cause and effect. He sees the damage in the present moment, and he reacts. A geometric analogy explains this. A two-dimensional being sees a 3D sphere as a circle growing and shrinking over time. But from a sixth-dimensional vantage point, a full timeline is visible all at once as a single static landscape. Al-Khidr perceived the completed outcomes of the timeline directly. He saw the finished structures of future events as if they were already part of a physical map. This creates a framework for interdimensional jurisprudence. Al-Khidr's actions were legally justified by the terminal reality of the future, a rationale that exists beyond the linear human scope. Understanding this structural difference in knowledge is critical. Prophet Muhammad prescribed Surah Al-Kahf as a defense against the Dajjal, a figure from prophecy who will appear at the end of time. The Dajjal will manipulate these same physical phenomena, distorting time, altering growth, and seemingly reviving the dead, to convince humanity that he possesses divine power. This narrative functions as intellectual armor. It builds a framework for distinguishing between divine miracles and the manipulation of physical laws. A mastery of the unseen mechanics of creation allows a being to bend the laws of physics without possessing divine sovereignty. By recognizing the multidimensional architecture of the universe, a believer develops a cognitive defense against physical deception.